Hi, I'm JKB and welcome to the Positive News. As you know, I only cover positive stories. So let's talk about limited run games trying to rip off their customers. And by try, I mean literally ripping off their customers. So this is just completely positive. It's off the rails immediately. Let me just be honest. It's not positive news. It's a big charade. I've been lying. This whole channel's about negativity. Let's just get into this story. In my pants. So it's I don't know. It's about midnight on Thursday. It's almost Friday. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, which you're seeing this today, all day on the channel. So if you see me streaming, pop in there and go, listen, get a real job. And I'll say, listen, this is a real job. And you'll say, no, it isn't. Take off your pants on a website. And I'll say, it can't be this website, can it? And you'll say, no, you'll get banned. I've got issues. But like I said, it's close to midnight. And I'm on Twitter, relaxing, and I see a little tweet from somebody, which, again, I don't get into the details of the stories here. I just kind of tell you what's going on with this story. You guys can go figure it out yourself, because I'm not a goddamn person who tells you things, except the story. But then you can be the investigators. Why do I have to be the investigators all the time? So this tweet comes from somebody known as Scratching Post on Twitter. You can find them there, or you can call it X if you're handicapped. It's called... Well, I'm canceled now. I just don't care. Let me read it. Limited run games allegedly sold 3DO games burnt on CDR discs without disclosing and charging their usual premium prices. There's no excuse for a company passing its products off as limited editions to cut corners like this. So if you click that tweet, there's some photos I'll show on screen here that sort of prove that what he is saying is true. Essentially, this is unbelievable. Let me just talk about limited run games for a second here. Yes, they've had their controversies in the past. It's always been a company that obviously I wanted to order things from. Let me go in the comments below and ask you guys, have you ordered stuff from Limited Run, and what was your experience like? Was it sexy? Did they include lingerie? I would order more if it included lingerie. But from this tweet, you can clearly see the difference between a press CD and a CDR. Now, the tall tale, is that what they say? Tall tale? The evidence is clear as day. On a press CD, you would not see lines on the back of the disc. And unfortunately, on this disc, you can see this is a burnt disc. CDR burnt discs will show how much data is left available and how much has already been burnt to the disc. So looking at this image, it's clear as day. They've burnt about, 70 to 80% of the disc, leaving some of the disc empty. This is on a 3DO game. And here's the kicker of this story. Because it's not a pressed CD, and it is a pressed CD that you have ordered, but received a CDR, guess what, guys? It's not working in the original 3DO systems because it is a burnt CD. Yeah, let me say that again. Limited run games, without disclosing to their audience, didn't get manufactured discs pressed from the usual companies that they would work with. And I'll get into that in a second, why they're saying they didn't. But instead, they just had them burned, like a CDR copy, like anybody could do at home. And they packaged it up and sent it to their customers. They say that they've tested 5 of the discs in their home office and never had an issue, or I should say their company office, and never had an issue with these discs. But guess what? Multiple people have received the discs now and say they don't work in the 3DOs that they tried them in. IGN reached out to Limited Run Games, and Limited Run Games gave a very large statement. I might read some of it here, not really all of it because it's pretty long, and to be honest, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo that nobody really cares about. I'd like to know, as a customer of Limited Run Games, how do you actually do this, not disclose it on the website, and not test it enough to know that it's going to work on all 3DO systems? It's absolutely insane that this is a thing that happened from Limited Run Games. I can't believe it. Not only have I waited literally years for something I've ordered from their website, now they're doing stuff like this. I have never seen a company handle situations this poorly, and on top of it, I will never order anything from them again, and it's not just new in this video. When I ordered my Scott Pilgrim vs. the World limited edition, case that came, I've shown it on the streams. Well, that sounds weird. I said it came, but like it physically can't do that. It doesn't have a weenus or a blowhole. So I don't know what a blowhole is. But my point being is I ordered that thing. It was like $200 and it was delayed. It took a year and like 6 months. I love video games, but I hate companies like this. Blah, 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 blah. So they basically say that the discs that they had pressed had issues with them. So they go on to say in an attempt to offer full compatibility with original hardware, our disc partner was able to successfully use CDR format. So that sounds fishy to me, but that's what they're saying. They're saying that the reputable company that burns, not burns, now I'm messing up myself, but they press hundreds of millions of CDs a year, probably Blu-rays as well, all sorts of crap. They're saying that they switched over to CDRs to ensure the maximum compatibility rather than, using, the press disc that's not reliable. We tested the discs on 3DO consoles in our office. All 5 discs worked perfectly. It was only upon shipping out to the customers that we realized that they would be experiencing any technical difficulties. Who knew? We will not be selling or shipping further copies of this game or any future 3DO games until the situation has been resolved. We're currently working with new partners, blah, 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 to get the disc pressed, blah, 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 blah. You can get a refund here, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. B, reassured that D, the collector's edition, is the only game affected by this issue. Furthermore, 3DO titles in the future will not go into production until this issue has been fully resolved, and we are confident in the compatibility. Apologies to our 3DO gamers. We will strive to do better. In closing, I think that this is absolutely insane for limited run games, not only to sell this for a premium price, but have it be a burnt disc in a package that is supposedly a collector's edition. I could make these discs at home. I honestly could just burn them myself, print them myself. It's super cheap to do nowadays, but you're putting it into your premium box and you're selling it on your site that is literally called Limited Run Games. And you're telling people that they are buying authentic pressed CDs because that's what they're expecting. They're not expecting a CDR. You did not go onto your website and list that, hey, we're having issues with this, so we're switching to CDR based. You can get a refund or you can get the game. Instead, they just randomly ship them out and hope for the best. Well, the best was terrible. I understand why some people want to go to limited run games and collect from limited run games, but this is unacceptable. I think it's disgusting, to say the least, that they would not be transparent with their customers. It's unfortunate. I hope that they learn their lesson on this one. And to the people that own the 3DO and they're excited to play D, the collector's edition, listen, phone me up. I got the ability to burn CDRs in my trunk of my car. So give me $5, you got the game. It might not work on your 3DO, but it saves you about $55 US. So call me. Also, I might sell photos with that copy, if you know what I mean. Kidding. Maybe I'm not. Let me know how you guys feel about this down below in the comments. Will you be buying anything from limited run games after this stunt that they have pulled? Do you feel like this is really a big deal? Because let's just also face it, media is changing and digital is taking over, but of course, you want to get a copy of the game on a press disc to be able to play on your 3DO, and that is the main issue here. We're not talking about the future of technology and how games are going to be released, because if this was a current gen game, people would probably be less concerned that was on a burnt CD versus pressed, because you can get it anywhere. But this is a collector's edition. This is a collector's edition of a 3DO game that people have waited for, and you gave it on a burnt disc. I'm done saying it. I'm baffled by this. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry there was no news bites this week, but you got this. So I'll try to do more news stories moving forward as they pop up. You know, last week was pretty dry. There wasn't a lot to talk about. So sometimes it just might be that way. But thank you for supporting my show. Thank you for supporting my sandwich addiction. And thank you for looking at my hair, which I haven't combed for a month.